Hi, T. Carlson here. Arrow Video remains one of my favorite home video boutique labels for classic releases getting the royal treatment, and I was really happy to hear one of my all-time favorite films was going to be getting the Arrow Video treatment. The movie I'm looking at today is The Warriors from 1979, directed by Walter Hill. I'm going to unbox this release, and I will share my opinions. Cover art features the Warriors in a subway car, and of course you have the little disclaimer down below that people are forbidden to ride between the train cars. There's the spine text, other side. Back cover, which lists all the features and credits and pertinent information. This slipcover comes off, and again we have the art of the Warriors there, but on the back we have the same art but with other gang members, and that looks very cool. And then the top and bottom are just plain. And then we have our contents right here, so let's go ahead and open this up. We get a poster, which seems to be customary for most of these Arrow Deluxe boxes. On this side we have Arrow Video's art for the movie, featuring a gang walking through the streets by the subway. I love the way that looks. And on the back we have the classic artwork. I actually have a bigger poster of this hanging downstairs because, of course, I'm such a fan of this film. And again, as with a lot of these Arrow releases, we get a booklet here. And this was done in the style of a New York subway guide, so I love the way that looks. And so there's some very cool essays and photographs from the film. You can tell Arrow really went the extra mile on this. As usual, I'm not going to go through every single page of this book, but you can see a lot of what's here. Even some info there on the restoration. There is reversible art on the case that has the disc. I went ahead and reversed it already, so it's got that classic style art there. The regular art is identical to what's on the outside of the box. And we even get a few little goodies in here as well. As is often the case, we get an ad for Arrow Video's streaming service, and then an ad on the back for something called Metallo, whatever that may be. I'm certainly curious now. And then we get sticker sheets. We get stickers of all of the gang logos in the film, the major ones here. We got the Warriors and the Rogues right here. On this one we've got the Lizzies, the Punks, and the Riffs. This one we have the Furies, the Turnbull ACs, and the Boppers. And this is where we have the Electric Eliminators, the Moonrunners, and the Orphans. I like how the Orphans are such a low-tier, low-budget gang that theirs is just regular letters stenciled on a shirt. And then we get some of these collector's cards, which again are customary for a lot of Arrow releases. On this one we got a Baseball Fury. Here we got the gang hanging out on Coney Island. We got the love interest in the film. Close-up shot of some of the members of the Warriors. The bathroom fight with the Punks. And of course the climax at the end of the film on the beach of Coney Island. We get two discs in this package. Disc 1 is the theatrical cut and the bulk of the bonus features. Disc 2 features the 2005 director's cut of the film, which added in some comic book style scene transitions. And it also has an introduction from Walter Hill that was filmed around that same time. I'll read the description of the film as follows from the package. These are the armies of the night. In 1979, fresh from directing bare-knuckle boxing movie Hard Times and super cool crime thriller The Driver, Walter Hill delivered his third Stone Cold classic in a row, The Warriors, a slam-bang, visually kinetic action movie that mixed a heightened comic book sensibility with a timeless tale from ancient Greece and set them loose on the streets of modern America. In New York, the gangs outnumber the cops by 5-1. Together they could rule the city. Gang leader Cyrus has a dream to do just that and calls a summit. The gangs of New York gather in the thousands. Cyrus takes the stage. From somewhere in the crowd, a shot rings out and Cyrus falls down dead. In the chaos that follows, a small gang from Coney Island, the Warriors, are blamed. Now everyone is out to get them. On foot, in enemy territory, can they make it through the night and get back across the city to the safety of their home turf? For all you boppers out there, for all you street people with an ear for the action, the iconic cult classic is back in a brand new 4K master approved by director Walter Hill. Can you dig it? I love The Warriors. I do love classic American films, and when it comes to classic American films, there's really not much of a better setting than the gritty, dirty New York City of the 1970s. And while we typically think of someone like Martin Scorsese when we think of that environment, Walter Hill used it to perfection in The Warriors. It's not really clear if this is supposed to be a then-contemporary film or set in the near future, although the comic-style transitions of the latter disc do imply the latter tends to be the case. We get a ton of very colorful, very interesting, and very diverse gangs in this movie, and the plot here is so simple and yet so effective. Everyone goes to a summit because they think the gangs are going to take over the city with the vision of one man, but when he's shot by an anarchist and the warriors are blamed, everyone's out to get them, and they have to get home safely. Of course, along the way, our heroes get separated and sidelined and have to fight their own battles. I mean, they go up against everyone from greasers to hot women to anarchists, punk rockers on roller skates, to guys in baseball uniforms and face paint. The movie does borderline on camp at times, but it always plays it 100% straight. There are a few scenes that are quite violent, and this is a movie that's not afraid to kill off members of the cast as necessary, so I will give the obligatory disclaimer that no one is safe. And of course, the performances from the cast are great. Deborah Van Valkenburg in her first film role is great as the sassy Mercy, who becomes the film's love interest. And then you get actors like Michael Beck, James Remar, and of course David Patrick Kelly, who plays the villain. Interesting trivia, this is the first of two Walter Hill films in which David Patrick Kelly portrays a character named Luther. He would later play one in 48 Hours. And you never know what's going to lie around the next twist, turn, and corner, and the Warriors find themselves against all kinds of danger. And meanwhile, again, this is actually based on an old Greek story, and there is a DJ who we only ever see like the lips and nose of, played by Lynn Thigpen, and she sort of serves as a Greek chorus of sorts for the story, which really helps to set the scene and the atmosphere. There's a great soundtrack as well. The Eagles song In the City, written and sung by Joe Walsh, actually first appeared in this movie. He recorded it as a solo artist and then re-recorded it with the Eagles. Barry Dvorak's synth-heavy rock score really sets the atmosphere in a way that I don't think anything else could have. Walter Hill, of course, had quite the filmography. I mean, he made The Warriors. A few years later, he made 48 Hours, which was the feature film debut of Eddie Murphy. And then, even after those more gritty R-rated movies, he directed the comedy Brewster's Millions. This was really a man on the big screen who could do anything. Did I mention he was a producer on the original Alien film? From the beginning, this movie just reeks of style and atmosphere. Sometimes it is a case of style over substance, but in this case, I think that's a good thing. The Warriors is an absolutely fantastic film. Is it dated as hell? Absolutely. Is it a fun film? One of the best. I always have fun revisiting this one, and I'm so glad to see Arrow Video decided to give this one the 4K treatment. Of the two cuts of the movie, I'll be sticking with the theatrical one. The one with the comic-style transitions is certainly an interesting experiment, but I think it's just a little too silly for me. It didn't need those to stand out. The movie does not disappoint. The colors get that nice punch from the Dolby Vision. All the natural film grain is intact. And I'm also happy to say, again, there were no unwanted enhancements, noise reduction, grain reduction, anything like that. It looks very natural and the way that a film of this era should look. I will stress, though, there are some scenes that have always looked a little dirty, grimy, and gritty, and that's just because of how this movie was filmed, so not every part of this movie is ever going to look pristine. It will never look like a film that was shot yesterday, but this is certainly a step up from that 2007 Blu-ray, which at the time was a very good-looking disc, but this is always an upgrade. Arrow Video has absolutely outdone themselves here. We get a ton of bonus features on here, many of which are new for this release. There's a ton of new featurettes covering everything from, director Walter Hill, the editor of the film, the costume designer of the film, a look back at the locations the film was shot, a video conference of filmmakers who are fans of the film, and then we also get the vintage DVD era extras as well. That also includes the introduction to the film that's on the second disc. Now, I only have two minor complaints with this release. First of all, I really wish that included a copy of the CD soundtrack, because music is such a big part of this film, and it's a great score with a lot of great songs as well. I also wish that included a Blu-ray copy of the film as well. I believe Arrow did a separate Blu-ray of this same master, but it would have been nice if we could have gotten both cuts of the film on one disc through seamless branching, and then disc 2 could have been a Blu-ray with the same content, but again, minor complaint. Overall, I am very happy with this package from Arrow Video. This is a movie that, again, lingered on Blu-ray in that one same disc for, well, over 15 years. The Warriors come out to play in fine form on this one. If you are a fan of this film, absolute highest recommendations, one of my favorite 4K releases of the year, and another triumph from Arrow Video. Are you a fan of The Warriors? Is this one of your favorite classic films? Do you think it's Walter Hill's best film? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.